Let's be real for a second. In a world that just never seems to stop, finding a moment of peace can feel, well, impossible. You've got the deadlines, the back-to-back meetings, the phone buzzing constantly. It's enough to feel like you're just treading water. But what if you could do more than just survive it? What if you could actually navigate all that chaos with a sense of calm, of purpose, and a strength you didn't even know you had? That's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
If you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. It's a feeling so many of us in the professional world know all too well. That feeling that you're just reacting to your day instead of actually directing it. You're getting pulled in 100 different directions, you're running on fumes, and honestly, it's exhausting. It can really feel like there's no way out.
But there is a way out. And today, we're going to walk that path together. Think of me as your guide. We're going to follow the journey of a professional, someone dealing with the exact same pressures you are, who completely transformed their life using the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. And this isn't some abstract theory. It's a practical, real-world blueprint for making a change.
Okay, so the very first most critical idea this professional had to get their head around was this, the idea of building an inner fortress. Now, this isn't some wall you build to keep the world out. It's a stronghold inside your own mind, a place of total safety and control, no matter what kind of chaos is swirling around you.
Look, life is going to throw storms at you. That's just a guarantee. Projects are going to go sideways, people are going to be difficult, and curveballs will come out of nowhere. The Stoic approach isn't about trying to control the weather, because that's impossible. It's about building a shelter that's so solid, so well constructed, that the storm can rage all at once, but inside, you remain calm, steady, and in command.
So, what's the blueprint for this fortress? It all comes down to a really powerful principle called the dichotomy of control. This is the absolute foundation of Stoicism in practice. It's a simple but life-changing filter, learning to see the difference between things you actually have control over and the things you have absolutely no control over. Wasting energy on things you can't change, that's where almost all of our anxiety comes from.
Now, this is where it gets really practical. Take a look at this. On the left, you've got the storm. A deadline suddenly moves up. You can't control that. A difficult coworker, you can't control their personality. The chaos in the world, totally outside your influence. But now look at the right side, your fortress. How you choose to manage your time to meet that new deadline, that is 100% on you. How you choose to respond to that difficult person with patience or anger, that's your call. And your own thoughts and attitude, that is the one thing nobody can ever take away from you. This is where all your power is.
This piece of wisdom right here, it's the key that unlocks the door to your fortress. When the professional we're following really truly understood this, everything changed. They stopped feeling like a victim of their circumstances. They realized that every single situation, no matter how stressful, gave them a choice about how to respond. And in that choice, they found their freedom.
So the dichotomy of control is our blueprint. Now we need the tools to actually start building. See, building this fortress isn't just about a new philosophy. It takes practical, daily techniques to manage your mind. Because let's face it, the strongest walls in the world don't matter if there's chaos on the inside.
So, the first thing our professional had to work on was their immediate in-the-moment reactions. You know that feeling? When stress hits, our first instinct is often to panic, to let our minds just race. The first job of the architect is to calm the construction site before you can even think about building anything. It's all about mastering your internal state before you even try to deal with the external world.
And here's the emergency toolkit they learned. 3 simple, incredibly powerful steps for when you feel that wave of stress coming. First, you interrupt it physically. Step 1. Breathe. A simple 4-count breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. It's like a reset button for your nervous system. Step 2. Reframe. You pull yourself out of the emotional spiral by asking one critical question. And finally, Step 3. Focus. Once you're calm and you have some perspective, you consciously decide to channel all your energy not into what's wrong, but into the 1 or 2 things you can actually do about it.
And this is the question. This is the reframe. In the heat of the moment, when everything feels like a crisis, just ask yourself this. That typo in a big email, that awkward moment in a meeting, that project delay, will you even remember it in 5 years? 99% of the time, the answer is a resounding no. This question doesn't make the problem disappear, but it shrinks it down to its true size. It strips away its power to overwhelm you.
Okay, so a fortress can be attacked from the outside, but it can also be betrayed from within. Once our professionals learned how to handle that in-the-moment stress, the next step was to go deeper. to start proactively clearing out the chronic sources of negativity. These are the internal saboteurs that slowly drain your energy and weaken the walls of your mind over time.
So they did a little personal audit, and it pretty much came down to these 4 things. First, draining people. We all know them, right? The ones who only bring problems and negativity. Second, unhealthy habits, like that mindless social media scroll that suddenly eats an hour, or procrastination, which just fuels more anxiety. Third, chaotic environments. A cluttered desk really does create a cluttered mind. And fourth, maybe the sneakiest saboteur of all, your own negative self-talk, that little voice that's always doubting you. You have to spot these drains and make a conscious decision to cut them out.
All right, so we've worked on the internal world. Now it's time to build the external defenses. See, your inner peace isn't just about what you think, it's reinforced by what you do. Every action you take, every decision you make, every interaction you have, it's another brick in the wall of your fortress. And those bricks need to be chosen with purpose.
This was a huge light bulb moment for our professional. They started seeing their choices not as random events, but as part of a construction project. Saying yes to a project they had no time for, that was a crack in the wall. Letting someone speak to them disrespectfully, that was leaving a gate wide open. They realized that for the fortress to be strong, their actions had to be all about protecting their own tranquility. And the #1 tool for this construction job is boundaries. It is so important to reframe what a boundary is. It's not some aggressive wall you put up to shut people out. Think of it more like a fence around your yard with a friendly gate. It's a clear, respectful guideline that protects your most valuable resources, your time, your energy, and your peace of mind.
So, how do you actually build these boundaries? It's another 3-step process. First, you have to know your limits. What are your absolute non-negotiables? Maybe it's not checking email after 7 p.m. You have to get clear on that for yourself first. Second, you communicate it. And here's the key. You do it clearly and respectfully, without some long, rambling apology. A simple, firm, "I'm not able to take that on right now," is powerful and it's enough. Third, and this is the hardest part, you have to be consistent. Every time you hold that boundary, you are patiently teaching people how to treat you. It builds respect over time.
And this might be the most important part. For so many of us high achievers, saying no feels like we're failing or like we're being selfish. It is the exact opposite. Every time you say no to something that drains you or doesn't align with your goals, you create the space to say a powerful yes to your real priorities, to your well-being, and to the people and projects that actually deserve your energy. It's just smart resource management.
So, what happens when you put all these pieces together? You understand what you can control, you manage your internal state, and you set firm, respectful boundaries. Well, the transformation begins. You stop living in reaction to your day, and you start living in command of it. You start actually living inside your fortress.
And this is the end goal. This is what our professional achieved, and it's what's totally possible for you too. The external storms didn't stop. The deadlines still shifted. The difficult people didn't vanish. But their experience of it all completely changed. They were no longer a little paper boat getting tossed around on the waves, a victim of the storm. They became the captain of their own ship, calmly navigating the chaos, focused, in control, and at peace.
Ultimately, the most empowering lesson of Stoicism is this: nobody can build this fortress for you. Not a mentor, not a book, not me. The tools are here, the blueprint is clear, but the power and the responsibility to build it, that lies with you. You are the architect. You are the builder. You are the one in charge of protecting your own peace.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Forget about building the entire fortress overnight. That's just overwhelming. Focus on one thing. What is the very first brick you're going to lay today? Are you going to take that 4-count breath when stress hits? Are you going to say a respectful no to one small thing? Or are you just going to challenge one negative thought? Choose one brick and lay it well. Because your fortress of tranquility starts right now.